All right, let's talk about current. You guys can see I'm out in Newport Harbor right now. This is our toy drive today. Got about 11 guys show up. Kind of nice out in the water with everybody. See some good friends and old friends from before. But we got in the water this morning, and it was an incoming tide in the water by probably about 7 o'clock. We followed that incoming tide to inside the harbor, of course. And about 8:30 or so is when we started to feel the drive out, the tide moving out. For those of you who don't fish saltwater, one of the most important things, or if you're new to saltwater fishing, one of the most important things is pay attention to your currents. Current coming in, coming out, and the swing, the size. I'll show you some apps that I use. I can't say that I'm really versed on the amount of swing in the tide, but I know enough to pay attention to, on my chart at least, when I've got a big peak and a big valley, I know that at some point it's going to be moving pretty good. So probably up inside the harbor here, and we were probably a good 200-300 yards from our launch spot. Within less than 30 minutes, I have surpassed my launch spot and actually moved beyond it another 50 yards or so. The current just pulls you out, and it just took off. So for me, I know that when currents get pretty rough, one of the things I can do is, as you can see in here, pull inside some docks. That's going to cut down some of that drag for you a little bit. The current pulling you out drags it a bit and gives you something to fight against. We were talking about earlier tying up to the docks, which you really are not supposed to do. But I'm going to be honest, it's not a bad idea when you're having a rough time. Things are getting out of control and you're starting to, tire out. Tie yourself up to the docks. Get yourself hooked up. I've got a bungee cord back here that is always with me. And if ever I find myself in a place where I am just unable to keep my position and I'm cramping up and fighting, you guys saw that strike, didn't you? If I'm fighting to keep my position, then I can tie up to the dock and just give myself a break, a reprieve, save yourself a little bit of energy. I haven't had to do that, although I have my rope out because it got really rough there for a moment. It was just all about kicking against the current to get across into the docks here so I could actually, slow down a bit. Always pay attention to your currents when you're going out, especially if you're going to be by yourself. Ride it. It's the best way to do it. If you know the current is coming in, then you're going to ride it in. If it's going out, you're going to ride it out. But never put yourself in a spot where you've got to fight the current the opposite way to actually, get back to where you came from. I've been talking to my wife recently, and we're actually thinking, or I'm going to have her a couple of times, especially out here in Newport. You guys can see across the way there, the homes, there's a couple of spots to launch there. Now, if I time it right, the right time of day, with the current going the right way, when I get in, I can ride it out a slight bit. And when that current starts coming back in, cruise right back through to the spot I'm over here. My wife can pick me up on the other side. I tried to do that a couple of times last month, but each time we had the opportunity, the currents were just not right. too big of a swing and too much of a fight to get to where you need to get to. So again, saltwater fishing is a heck of a lot of fun. I was just talking with some guys here, and I think one of the things we like most about it, first of all, is local to us. Second of all, it's free. If you play your cards right, you find your spot to launch where there's no paid to park. So it doesn't cost you anything. We're in and out easy. Find a sand beach, that's all you need. But with that being said, there are some differences here. Larger body of water, fresh water, yeah, and I'm sure there's some current. I'm sure there's, more importantly, wind, weather conditions you got to pay attention to. But overall, it's a lot different than fishing saltwater. You have to think your way through it. You have to prepare yourself and put yourself in the right spot. As we've always said on the forum, I'm going to say it again and again. If you are new to float tubing, always find someone to go with you. Reach out on the forum and talk with us, or Facebook, find some friends, some people that are willing to show you the ropes. Better to be safe than, put yourself in a bad spot. If you're fishing saltwater and you've never done it before, I've had people say too, I'm a surfer, I understand. And I get it, you do understand. But this is different. It's going to put you in a bad place if you're not careful. And I've seen it happen before where people have to get out where they're at and call for rides, or walk back. So always pay attention to your current. As you can see, as we were kind of coming in here, I don't know if you noticed, I was moving pretty good, or the water was undulating up and down quite a bit. And now that I'm underneath and in between all the docks, the current has mellowed a bit. Still feel it. If I let go, if I stop kicking, I'm going to go straight back out again. But not as bad as the open channel there. So, saltwater fishing is great. It's absolutely a blast. The flow tube is just amazing. Just pay attention to what you're doing. Know what you're doing. So again, like I said, I'll share my app that I use and a little bit of details about the basic way in which I read. Because again, I'm not perfect at it. I just know what I need to know to keep myself safe and in the right place. But if you have any questions, like always, please reach out to us. I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about it. If you are interested in saltwater fishing, want to know more, please reach out. We'd be happy to help you out, give you more information. And if we're able to meet up with you out here locally in Southern California, we'd love to get on the water with you and show you around. So okay. There's a quick video on current. You really can't see it that well. I mean, obviously it's kind of hard to show current without large, big pictures. But the idea is, that's when we're float tubing harbors. This is a big issue that we have to deal with. It's something we have to pay close attention to, be prepared for as best we possibly can. So as I mentioned in this, talk about the app that I would use to watch the current and the direction it's going. Reality is there are all kinds of different apps and websites and other ways you can actually identify current. This is nothing new. This is completely something that everybody's been doing for forever. But this is the one I use. Here's the image right here, so you guys have an idea. And it's a simple app. I think I paid $1 a month for it. Gives me a little extra features on it. All I use it for is the highs and lows. You guys can see on the image here, we're looking at how low it goes, how high it goes, and then obviously dropping back down again. As the chart goes up, that would be current coming in. As the chart dips, that's current going out. And the big deal is how quickly is this actually moving in and out. You can look at the time frame as from when it starts coming in to when it stops coming in to when it starts going back out, as to how quickly this will move. And in my understanding, when I'm looking at any of these charts, if I see a big spike going either direction, I know that it's going to be a rough day. It's funny, we were on the water and discussing current for the day, and really didn't look like we had 7 hours for this current to change. But reality is, all of a sudden, as we're discussing, it's probably not going to move as quick as we thought. There it goes. It just started sucking me back out. Like I mentioned, it took me a while to get in. Took no time at all to get back to where I started at, plus past where I started at. Luckily, you've got the ability to dive into those docks and stay out of the current the best you can, just to kind of catch that reprieve. And you're going to notice, or you're going to see right now, as I mentioned, tying up to docks is not something we do, but I actually had to do it. So here you go. We just talked about tying up on the dock. Sometimes it might be necessary. And in all my time float tubing, I've only done it maybe a small handful of times when the situation got pretty rough. This current, while it's not huge, it's still pretty rough. So I am currently tied up to a dock. Again, not supposed to, okay? But unless you find a Karen, I guess, I don't see anybody really giving you a hard time, especially when you're just trying to, take a breather and make sure you don't put yourself in a bad place. So I am currently right now tied up to a dock. It's off to my far right corner of the float tube, so it kind of orientates you a little odd. But I'm not fighting right now. I'm just kicking to make sure that my boat doesn't turn around the wrong direction and hit my tips of my rods against the dock itself. So it definitely is helping out, just so you guys know. Maybe you can see here. I put a picture up, but I want to see if I can. Yeah, I can't turn around. Current's just a little too rough. Anyways, as I was saying, it definitely is important that you keep yourself safe. Fishing is fun. We enjoy it. We put ourselves in positions when you're float tubing, kayaking, whatever you do. You always put yourself in an odd spot, I'm sure. But reality is, keep yourself safe. And I decided this makes more sense right now to tie up, do a little fishing, make sure I don't cramp up my legs, and in a little bit I'll break loose and cut my way back through those docks again. So just wanted to share that bit of information with you guys.